Hey, what's up? This is Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. Now, who's ready for some fighting words? In this video, I want to continue with the series that I've been doing for potential matchups for Naoya Inoue. In this video, I want to talk about Bruce Carrington, an up-and-coming fighter who's been making a lot of noise for himself and the division. Really quick, if you like the videos, please take the time, subscribe to the channel. Also, if you could, hit that thumbs up button. It does help. It does show love and supports this channel. These are some great matchups. So the last video was Brandon Figueroa. In this video, I have Bruce Carrington. Let's see. He is a standout. Let's see what I have on him. So he's better known as his nickname, which is Shu Shu. And it stands for the one who rises above, which is pretty cool. Shu Shu is strong. He's precise. And he's a very accurate puncher. Okay, he's also got some pop in his hands. He doesn't have a whole lot of fights, so he doesn't have a whole lot of knockouts, but you can tell he's got some pop in his hands. Shu Shu is very slick. Also, particularly when he's infighting, he's very slippery. You know, he can see things up close and personal. So you can tell how technical he is. Here's the thing: you can tell how technical somebody is, or how there's levels of skill, obviously, but you can see this particularly when you see two guys on the inside. Why on the inside? Because that's where the fire is. When you have space, you have time to think. You have, a little bit of a breather. Somebody has to commit to you because they have to actually get to you to do whatever they want to do to you. While when you're up close and personal, you don't have that leniency. You don't have that time to think. It's almost just muscle memory and reaction. But it shows how much time you put into the gym is what it does. It shows that how committed you are to your craft. And it also shows the fear level. There's none, because if you stay in that fire, there's none. You look at somebody like a James Toney, guy had no fear. All he ever did was spar. He didn't do much else in terms of, preparation. It was just spar. And you could see it in the fights. Nothing ever got under his skin. Nothing ever put him to a place where you can see doubt or wonder in his, wonder in his eye or anything like that. No, that's because he stays in that place. And you can see a glimmer, not a lot, but a glimmer of it when you look at Shu Shu. He's very comfortable in infighting. Got to give it to him. Let's see. The problem with Shu Shu would be in comparison experience. The experience level is going to be a huge factor for Shu Shu. He doesn't have half the amount of fights that Naoya Inoue has, and he hasn't faced even a fraction of, level opposition that Inoue has. And so it's easy to look great against, certain or hand-picked guys as you're coming up in the ranks. But once you get to that championship level, once you get to that top five, anybody in that top five and everybody in that top five is dangerous. Everybody in that top five presents an obstacle and a potential danger. And I don't care who it is. This person has this person might have a right hand, this person might have a great jab, this person might hit hard as bricks, whatever whatever it is, they managed to make it in the top five. So they had to make it through all the people you made it through, and they kept their position. I don't care if you've been number 3 for 3 years, you still kept position. There's a lot of people coming up, so it's still saying something about number 3. Number 3 is no joke. Number 3 can be number 2 at any given time. Number 3 could fight number 1 at any given time. So number 3 is no joke. Number 4 is no joke. Number 5 is no joke. Number 5 is huge. He's a gatekeeper. Okay, nobody steps into the top 5 without getting through number 5. Number 5 is imperative. Number 5 is very important. Number 5 is equally as dangerous as number 3 on down. Simple as that. Let's see. Shu Shu is way too patient to fight anyway. And what I mean is, he's not a high volume type of guy. He's not that. He's not a high volume type of guy. And I've always said, if somebody's gonna, face anyway, they need to match his punch output. And Shu Shu is not that. He is precise. He is accurate. And listen, if you hit like Deontay Wilder, if you hit like Triple G, by all means, you can throw one punch at a time, because that, in comparison, that one punch is the equivalent of 3 punches for someone else. So it's still doing its damage. However, when you're not hitting that hard, and, you know, most of the guys fighting in that weight class aren't the hardest hitters in the world. You know, you don't see a ton of knockouts in that division. So that weight class in general, you don't see a ton of knockouts. So, you know, you need to step up the punch output. That's one of the more important factors. The smaller a guy gets in the ring, you need to step up that punch output. You do. It's important because the likelihood of you knocking out, I'm not saying that nobody can get knocked out. I'm not saying there's like, you know, nobody can get knocked out, but the likelihood, the smaller the guys get, becomes less and less and less. That's what I'm saying. Let's see. Shu Shu would have to be fast and a self-starter and strike first. The problem with that is he's kind of not. He's kind of a, I don't want to call him a pure counter puncher, but he kind of is, you know, like, and if you're going to be competitive against Inoue, you got to be first. I've been saying this for a very long time. If you're going to be competitive towards Inoue, you got to be first. You got to put him in a place where he's not allowed to think. And you have to take the distance away from him. You have to make it uncomfortable for him. You might have to go the bully route in order for him, you know, to truly be uncomfortable. But if you're not gonna do any of that other stuff, you must have a high punch output. You must punch first. If you're not gonna do that, good luck with winning that fight. It just may not happen for you. You know, you'll get in there with an all-time great, and yeah, you'll learn from the experience, but you're definitely not gonna be competitive, and I don't think you're gonna be competitive for very long. Another thing with Shu Shu is because he hasn't fought the top notch of, you know, competition. We don't know what his chin is like. I don't know what his chin is like. I don't know what happens to him in the 12th round. I don't know any of that stuff about him. Those are still question marks that, you know, that have yet to be answered. I don't know any of those things. I don't know, you know, how many times he's had to talk himself through a fight. He's had to will himself to a fight. I can tell you that Inoue's been in those types of fights. He knows what it's like to dig deep. He knows what it's like to be hurt. He knows what it's like to be cut. He knows what it's like to be all that stuff. Because he's been in there with the top guys. So he knows what it's like to go through all those emotions, tackle and face all those, or jump over all those hurdles and still win and still come out competitive, still come out a champion, still come out with his hand raised. He knows how to handle in those situations. When I look at Shu Shu, that's a guy with a huge question mark, and we don't know anything about him when the pressure's on. If he were to face Naoya Inoue, the pressure would be on from round one. And I don't know. I got to tell you, it wouldn't look good for him. Let's see. What else do I have here? Shu Shu is tall. He's long. But like I said, he waits. He throws single punches. Not going to work. Let's see. One of the hurdles of fighting Inoue is the punch output. Like I was saying, you know, like if you are not going to match the man, it ain't going to work. I can tell you right now. You look at that Stephen Fulton fight. You look at the Morales fight, Marlon Morales. It just wasn't going to work. Like, to Palace, I'm sorry. But it just wasn't going to work. It just wasn't going to work. Because they're not willing to match that one thing. That one thing is huge, and it's imperative. If you're going to be competitive in a fight with Naoya Inoue, you must match what he's dishing out. If he's going 70 miles an hour, you have to at least be going 65, or else you're not going to cut it, period. But the experience quality, the experience factor, the agility factor, and the out-punching factor with Naoya Inoue, I just feel it's going to be too much for Shu Shu. We'll give Shu Shu problems from round one, to be honest with you. I mean, from round one, it's going to be pretty evident. All right, Inoue's faster. Inoue uses his legs a lot more. Inoue's throwing a whole lot more punches. Inoue's mixing this thing up a whole lot more. And it's going to be a problem for Shu Shu. Him not being faced with elite guys, that's going to be obvious, because it's going to be like, well, if he had more guys on his resume, he can clearly say, he would clearly know what to do in a situation like this. And Shu Shu has flat out said that he would like to fight Naoya Inoue. He feels like he's ready right now. I totally disagree with that, but you got to admire the fact that he's ready and he's hungry, and that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to, as the challenger, as the up-and-comer, as the new guy on the block, you're supposed to say, no, I want that guy. Or you want number 3? No. I want number 1. That's what you're supposed to say. Everybody's looking at number 1. Nobody's looking at number 3. You got to get through number 3, but nobody's looking at number 3. The objective is number 1. You know, the dream is number 1. Number 1 has the belts. Inoue at the top of the mountain with a ton of gold in his castle. That's what Shu Shu wants. And I have to admire the fact that he wants to fight, but I don't think he's ready for that fight. Even if Naoya Inoue were to, I don't know, say, you know what, you want the fight, you come get it. I will grant you that. You come get it. If anybody around Shu Shu, you know, has a heart, it was not right now, bro. You know, maybe another 2 years, you know, maybe another year. If you're busy and you're active, let's say you get 3 fights under your belt. In another year, you know what? You never know. You know, and you fight some more, you know, some more durable competition, some better competition. You know what? You top that. If you crack the top 5 within those 3 fights, you know what? By all means, you go ahead and you try it. But I think he needs more rounds under his belt. I think he needs more competition under his belt. I think he needs more championship rounds under his belt. You know, the deep water. I think he needs to swim in the deep for a little while longer. I have no Inoue winning. It's an amazing fight. I would love to see it, and I think it'd be fun. But I just don't see in any way, shape, or form possible that Shu Shu could beat Naoya Inoue. The speed factor, the footwork, the punching power. Because, yeah, like, it's easy to knock out number 17. You know what I mean? Like, he ain't nobody. Like, it's not hard to knock that guy out, you know? So, and Shu Shu is taking out guys who are not the top guys. Naoya Inoue is taking out guys who have belts. There's a difference. There are levels to this thing. And not to mention, well, lastly, I'll say, Shu Shu has another thing that I feel would give him problems. He does have a temper problem. He's been recorded as saying several times in interviews that, you know, he used to get bullied growing up. And you can see his temper rising even when he's in weigh-ins, you know, like he's angry. And when he comes into a fight, he's angry. And he also said that when he's in a fight, he would prefer to beat you up the whole time rather than take you out. And he says he likes to punish his opponents. Again, I don't think that mentality would serve him against Naoya Inoue. I think Naoya Inoue is the type of guy, if you see this guy's hurt, you need to go for it. Because, number one, Inoue is a pretty durable guy. He can take a hit, and he's been hit. He can take a punch. And you can't just say, well, I'm going to punish him for 9 rounds straight just because, you know, somebody pulled my pants down when I was in 5th grade and all the girls laughed at me. I don't know. Just because, you can't say that. No, he's the type of guy, if you see him hurt, you need to get him out of there. And if you're coming in with that type of mentality where you want to embarrass somebody, I think Naoya Inoue, again, because he's a champion. He's an undisputed champion for the second time now. He's an undisputed champion. He is the type of guy who can raise his level to whatever you're thinking of or trying to do. And that's another reason why I just think Shu Shu is not ready. It is not his time right now. Naoya Inoue would beat him without a shadow of a doubt. I think he would beat him. I think he would frustrate him. I think he would take him to a place that he has never been to before. And I think that boy would grow in those rounds. But definitely he would lose to Naoya Inoue. But those are my thoughts. You drop your thoughts down below. And as always, please like, please share, please subscribe to this channel.